and private access modifier. A private access modifier keyword is applied only on method, variable, and constructor, and it is not applicable for the class. We should not create a private class. The private keyword is not applicable for the class. Then where you can use this private method, private variable, private constructor in the same class only. See, the restriction completely stops the visibility of your method, private variable, and private constructor by other class. Even in the same package also, it doesn't matter. Private means within the class only you can use, not outside the class. That's a private means. Completely you can stop visibility of your method, your variable, and constructor by other classes. If you don't want to give a permission to other classes, you can apply private keyword for those entities, for those members of a class. But class cannot be a private and protected. So by design itself, they stopped it. They don't want to create a private class. Private class, no use, right? And that's why they are not allowing at all. And protected also, they are not allowing to create. So this private and protected keywords, you can use only on method, variable, and constructor only. Only these places you can use this private and protected keywords. But what is the accessibility scope for private? Within the same class. If you are not able to see particular method in outside the class, that means the scope for that is restricted by private keyword. That's a private means. So let's create a private members. But class can be either, your class can be either public or default. So class we cannot create private and protected. You can see here, let me show you, while creating a class itself, they stopped that. They have disabled those checkboxes. Just right click on this package, new class. You create a new class. So in the new class, a class name below, you have a modifiers, right? Access modifiers first with a radio buttons. Like public, by default it will select. Then default, if you want, you can select the default, but you don't have option to choose private and protected for the class name. You cannot choose that. That's a private and protected. And now you can just give the name. I'm just giving private demo. So I can choose the main method and let's create this. Finish. See, my class can be public or default. Only class can be either public class or a default. Class cannot be a private, cannot be a protected. And now I'll create all protected private variables. So let's see, two private variables I'm going to create. First, single line commenting I'm using private variables. So first a static variable I'll create. See, access modifier. I'm giving a syntax here itself. Access modifier static. So data type variable name equal to value. So this is the one syntax. So my access modifier is private, then static. So then I'll put char c equal to, that's one data type. Char is a one data type. Capital A, single character you can specify in within single quotes. That means capital A I'm storing in the C variable. So if you remember this syntax, easy to analyze what is the value. A is the value you are storing in this C variable. The C data type is a character. So the C type of variable is a static variable and the C access modifier as private. So that means C is restricted to completely for this class only. You cannot use this C outside the class in the same package also. It is not going to be visible. Who is stopping that? This private keyword. That's if you are not able to see in another class one member of a class, that means you have defined that a private keyword. You have declared for that member the scope private you have declared. That's why you are not able to see in another class. Private is completely for that class only visibility. not outside the class. So let me create one more variable. That's a non-static variable, access modifier. I'll give all syntaxes. If you remember the syntaxes, little bit hard work you need to do here. If you remember these syntaxes, your life is going to be very easy in the coding. If you don't remember the structure and the members structure, and we cannot do anything. Access modifier, so data type. Now see, I'm avoiding the static keyword. That means this is a non-static variable. So above one is static variable and below one is non-static variable. So variable name equal to value. You can assign a value. So access modifier, I need to use private and int I equal to 5. This is I can use only in this class only because of we declared private for this variable. So that's one. Next, private constructor. I'm declaring the private constructor. So what is the constructor structure? Access modifier. See that access modifier you will use all the places. That's why I'm giving a access modifiers that much importance. Without access modifiers, no variable, no class at all, no method, no constructor. So all these four places, access modifier you are going to use. Why you need to use access modifiers? Because it decides the scope, where to use, where not to use. That's why access modifier is a very, very important topic. Access modifier and class name. So class name and constructor name is same. Remember that one more time. How to write the constructor name? Whatever the class name is there, that's the constructor name. Then you will get a parenthesis here for constructor. So then curly braces, you can write the logic. So this is a structure of a constructor, default constructor. So access modifier, I'm writing private. So see, access modifier place, I have written my private access modifier name. Then class name, what is my class name? Private demo is my class name. So just copy paste. Then parenthesis. So next, after class name, what is there? Parenthesis there. So that's I put a parenthesis here. As per formulas, if you go, it's a very, very easy for us to create each type of member in the class. So I'm just creating a one print statement. So this is a private default constructor. So why I'm calling default constructor? In this parenthesis inside, no arguments. So we don't have any arguments. Constructor. This is a private default constructor. Okay. Now, so variables are done. Private variables. Private constructor is done. What left now? Private methods. So access modifier. Static. First, I will create a static method. Static. So void method name parenthesis curly braces logic. This is the one static method I'm creating. My access modifier is private because I'm creating a private method. I don't want to give permission to other classes. That's why I'm creating a private methods. Private static. So void my method. See, first word all lowercase, and I'll write. So this is a private static method. The simple word I'm writing. Okay. Next, what is the next method left? Non-static method. Access modifier void. See, no static keyword. If static keyword is there, static method. If static keyword is not there, that is a non-static method. If here also in the variable types also, if static keyword is there, that's a static variable. If static keyword is not there in the syntax, that is a non-static variable or instance variable. We call this either instance variable or non-static variable. Only these two types of variables has a access modifier. There is one more variable type, and this is the non-static method how to write. So private access modifier. So void test method. Just give some method name. Okay. So this make sure the method name is different. So method name should not be duplicate. Every method starts with a curly braces, ends with a curly braces. Every method starts with a curly braces, ends with a curly braces. So one method inside another method you should not write. Okay, this is the method definition. You're declaring and defining that method, right? So every method definition is different. So this is private non-static method. Okay, so this is all the different types of members in your class. See, your class can be a public or default only, but class cannot be a private and protected. Why? I have shown you that they are disabled completely, private and protected keywords for the class. So the private keyword is applicable only for variables and for the constructor and for the methods. Only 3 places you can use this private keyword. And for class, you should not use private keyword. That's what I was talking about private. So any doubts here, private keyword, before going to the protected? Next, protected. Protected also another access modifier keyword. It will be applied on method, variable, and constructor. And we can access this protected members in the same package in any class like default, but outside package also possible if you apply the inheritance concept. If you apply the inheritance concept, you can use outside package also. That's our difference between protected and default. Default you can use in the same package in any class, but protected also you can use in the same package in any class, but outside package it is possible if you apply inheritance OOPS concept. So did you remember all OOPS concept I have listed out? So those OOPS concept, inheritance is the one of them. And if you apply that, the protected method, protected variable, protected constructor, you can use in outside package. Other package also you can use. That's the purpose of protected. Otherwise, if you are not applying inheritance, then you cannot use outside package this protected members. Again, protected keyword should not be applied for class. So only you can use on these 3. So protected method you can create, protected variable, protected constructor. That's the only 3 places you can use protected keyword. So where you can access in the same package any class, same as a default. But what is extra here? If you apply inheritance concept, then you can use outside package also. Outside package also it is possible. Outside package also it is possible. That's what this protected means. Any questions? So let's see this, how to create a protected things. Class can be again your public or default. Class can be a public or default. Only 2 types of classes: public class, default class. Class cannot be a private and protected. So I have shown you already, those 2 are disabled. You can just check that. So right click on the basic programs, new class. So I cannot create a protected class. So I cannot create a protected class. So so Mahesh is asking to run, we'll run. So let's create this first protected demo class. See, I can create my class either public or default. Let me take a public. So we have already created. Let's take a package class I'm creating. Protected demo. Take the main method. Okay. So you want me to run, right? If I want to run, I should have something here, right, in the main method. Otherwise, your code won't execute. So which methods I can call under main method? Only static methods as of now. Now, but what about non-static methods? If you want to call non-static methods, that is a different story. I'll explain that. So we'll discuss that later. But I can use the non-static static data. Static data I can use in the main method. So let's call first the variable I am calling. Static variable C value. So this is the static variable. This is all putting in the double quotes, plus I want to print that C value plus the variable name. So this is a global variable. Anywhere you can use. C I can use here also. See that in the static method also I can use. So let me see some more actions I can do. Int sum equal to C plus 1. I can do that. So I can print this sum variable. This is the local variable. This sum is a local variable, local to this method only. You cannot use this sum variable in another method. That's a local variable concept. There are three types of variables: static variables, non-static variables, and local variables. Static and non-static variables you can declare outside the methods below the class. Local variables you can declare in any block inside. This is the one block, method block. Even constructor block inside also you can declare local variables. But this sum value is, see that this C variable I used in the my method inside, and also I used in the main method also. Two places I used. One time I declared, I'm using in different methods. So that's the advantage with this global static variable. Globally you are declaring once the static variables, and you are using in many methods. So how to call the static methods? Just a method name.
Ramesh, is it sum I+1 or C+1?
What is I+1? I'm using this C
character.
C,
static character. Okay.
A, capital A means
+1.
So
okay.
when you are joining with the numbers, the ASCII code of that character will come. So every character has a ASCII code, the integer numbers. Now capital A has 65 ASCII code. Okay, 65 ASCII code is there. Now 65 plus 1 will come and store. That's a 65 plus 1, 66. That's an integer number. That's why I'm storing in the integer type of variable. See here, understand here. Local variable, I am not using any access modifier. You should not use access modifiers for any local variables. Never ever use access modifiers for the local variables. So access modifiers are not applicable for the local variables. Okay, keep this point in mind. Note down, and if you don't want to forget, and how to call the methods. So I want to call, which methods I can call? Only static method. This is my static method name. One static method you can call in another static method directly. There is no any other rules. So in my class, this is the one static method I'm calling here in my main method. If you want to execute, I need to call that method. So method name parenthesis semicolon. That's I'm calling the method name. So if you have something in the main method, then only you can execute. Otherwise you cannot execute. Just execute. See that this one is a variable value it is printing, but second portion is it is coming from this line, this block. So how it is calling? You are calling here main method. So what will happen? This main method will be invoked by main method, and it will go to that main method block here, and the line by line code will execute. See, first this is a private static method executed, and this internally calculates, and wherever a print statement is, the print statement values only it will show here in the console output. If print statement is not there, it won't show. And 66 is the value. 65 plus 166 is the sum value you're getting. So this code executed, then there is a end curly braces. That means the main method will understand. So no more code to execute. So this my method is done. Then it will look for any other statement. Then it's this end curly braces. That means execution is done. No more lines to execute. Then it will stop execution. That's why it stopped the execution. So this is the how execution is over. Is it clear, Mahesh? Any doubts here? Okay. Anybody having doubt how to call static members and static methods inside the main method? If you want to execute.
Ramesh, can you please tell me once again which part you're saying in this one? Private static.
Okay. Private static void my method. This is a my user defined method. This is not defined by Java. They have given a structure. Okay, this one. Okay, create your own method. And based on this syntax, I'm creating my own method. See that I followed. Access modifier is a private, static, then void, then method name. I'm giving my own method name. So I can define any name. I can give any name for the method name. Just follow the naming conventions. The first letter all should be lowercase. If more than one word is there, first word all lowercase. See, my is all lowercase because one word. And second word onwards, each word first letter is in uppercase. This will come all method naming conventions. So then see that method name after what is there? Parenthesis. So I put a parenthesis. Then after parenthesis, what is there? Curly braces. I put a curly braces. Then I am writing the logic here. So I'm using a C variable, which is the C type variable, static variable. So static variable I can use in the static methods as well as non-static methods also. This is the global variable. You can use anywhere. Any method inside you can use this static variable. But this non-static variable you cannot use in all the methods. Only in non-static methods you can use. You cannot use static methods inside directly. You don't have a permission. See, if I use here plus I, if I use it will throw error. Cannot make a static reference to the non-static field I. I you cannot use in the static methods inside. You don't have permission. Okay. So only this variable, global static variable, I can use in the static methods because same category, right? Static method and static variable. So that I can use here. Here also the my method I called in the main method because main method also a static method. So that I can call, how to call any static method in the main method? Just call method name. What is the method name? Static method name. My method is the static method name. See that if you follow this syntax, you will get your method name. What is your method name? You can easily understand. Your method name here is my method. Parenthesis. Method name must be followed by parenthesis. So that's how to call the static methods in the main method. Or any other method, just call the static method. Is it clear? This is
Yes,
how you
Ramesh.
are going to define is your choice. How you want to define your method, it's your choice. How you write the logic, your choice, that one. Or you will write only print statement, or you will write some logics. And what you are going to do is it's your choice. In this method body, this is the method body we call this. In this method body inside, however you design and define your logic, this is all logic. So calculations, print related statements, everything comes under logic. And one method calling on another method. Now this is the logic I'm building in the main method. So calling the method and calling the variable. So I'm calling this C variable value I'm printing, and I used C variable here to do some calculations here. And a lot of logics you can build in your own method. This is your own predefined, not user defined method. This one. This is a user defined method. User means you are the programmer. You are defining this method, but this one is predefined method, and you are using for execution of your code this main method. So any statement if you want to execute, that must be called under main method only. That's what I'm doing here. My method name I called here, that is static method you can call. Why can't I call this non-static method? Both are different category, right? Main is a static method, but you are calling non-static method. See that it will throw error. You cannot make a static reference to the non-static method my test method from type private demo class. Non-static stuff you cannot call directly in the main method. Then how can you call? So that's a different, we'll learn later. So I don't want to confuse you now. Just move on. Is it clear? So these are all methods and other stuff. I'm moving to protected demo now.
One quick question, Ramesh. The plus in
Yeah.
the print statement, is it for a space or what the plus does?
This one, this
In
plus.
the println statement.
This is joining. This is joining operator. So
Okay.
string plus any variable, any data, it will join to this statement. This statement. Plus is
plus
just
is-
join this value with this statement. So this is a double quotes means a string, right? It represents the string. String plus the variable value, whatever you want, you can C value it will print. So it will just join the C value with this statement, whatever you put in double quotes. So plus is a joining operator here, joins two statements, and this selected one plus this C value will join That's why you are getting in the output the C value there. See that? It joins, right? One statement it is printing. So it is not printing C because you didn't keep in double quotes this C. If you keep in double quotes, C only will print, not the C value. So any variable, if you want to get that variable value, don't put in double quotes and join with plus operator and write that variable name. So then that C value will come. That's what you're getting here, C value A. That's what we define, right? C value here. What is the C value? Now A is stored in the C. So that A value is coming. Okay. So joins. So here also you can see some value I want to print. So this output will store in this sum variable. I'm printing that. See, the sum value is readable statement I have written. Then plus what is the sum value? The variable name I'm putting here. So it just joins to this statement, this output, this sum variable output. What is there in the sum variable? Now 65 plus 1, 66 is stored in this sum local variable. And that value will print here. That's what it's print. Okay. Is it clear?
Got it. Yep.
Plus is a joining operator. Plus you can act as a two ways. One is if numbers in between, it will act as a addition operator, and plus act as a joining operator for strings. Now I told you if you keep anything in double quotes, that will be treated as a string. String plus I'm joining this value to this string. To this string, I'm joining this sum value with a plus operator. So this is act as a joining operator. That's what the plus operator, how we will use in the system.out.println. Clear? Shall we go?
Yes, Ramesh.
Yeah. So next, protected. I want to create a protected variables. So I told you protected can be used on the variable, on the constructor, on the methods only, not on the class. Same as a private. Protected variables. I'm declaring all protected variables. What are all the syntaxes? First, static variable, access modifier, static. So data type. So variable name equal to value. These are all syntaxes. Write multiple times. Then you will definitely remember this syntax. Not one time. Right? Wherever, don't copy paste. Write while practicing. Definitely you can remember. Now our access modifier is protected. We are talking about protected. Then static. So then data types, different data types we have. Float. I'll explain the data types. As of now, you just get integers, float, booleans, characters, string. These are all data types. Even class also one data type. So we'll discuss that in the data types. So variable name, float, variable name. Variable name you can give anything. F equal to 3.5f. So next, this is the static variable. I want to declare non-static variable also. Data type, variable name equal to assignment operator. This is assignment operator. You are assigning a value to that variable. So my access modifier is a protected. Because we are talking about protected, my access modifier place, I'm putting protected access modifier data type. So long L equal to 100L. So these are the bigger integer numbers. If you want to specify, you will use a long data type. And the variables are done. Now I'm going for the constructor. Protected constructor. And so syntax, again, I'm writing multiple times for you guys. Modifier, class name, parenthesis, curly braces, logic, and curly braces end. So follow the syntaxes. It's very nicely it will come. The constructor. What is the access modifier? Protected. We are talking. Class name. What is the class name? This is my class name. Class keyword after whatever the keyword is there. That's a class name. So protected demo. Parenthesis, curly braces. First curly braces after either method or constructor, whatever you are writing, press enter key. Press enter key. End curly braces will come automatically so that you won't miss the end curly braces. So first curly braces you write shift curly brace, then press enter key. So then end curly braces will come automatic. Then that the pair you won't miss. So this is a protected default constructor. Access modifier static. So void method name. Not always void, you can write a different also, but we'll discuss later those. As of now, I'm sticking only for void methods. So protected static. So void method name I can give. So just simple one method name, any method name. This is protected static method. So just do that, and if you want to do some calculations, go and do that. So float result equal to some variable name, any variable name equal result equal to f multiplied by 5. I'm just giving some random calculations I'm doing here. Anything you can build up. The result value is, so I'm joining the result value plus result, the variable name, local variable. These are local variable, we call them. See, f, the static variable, I can use in the static methods, and this L, non-static variable, I can use in the non-static methods. So let's declare next to non-static method. So access modifier void. See, static keyword is not coming. That's why this is called non-static method. It's very easy to differentiate static methods, non-static methods. If static keyword is there in the signature line, that is a static method. If static keyword is not there, that is a non-static method. See, my access modifier is a protected. So void, I can say M2 method. Some different name you provide. See that automatically end curly braces, you got it. See that follow this curly braces and you write the logic inside, then end curly braces. Follow line by line, word by word you follow, and it will come very nicely. This is access modifier is a protected. Then void. Then method name is M2. Parenthesis. See that method name after what is there? Parenthesis. Now parenthesis after what is there? Curly braces. Then inside you write the logic. You build your own logic. And so this is a protected non-static method. And I'll write some logic. I'll use now, I can use this global non-static variable. So I'll use here. It's long multiplication equal to L multiplied by F. What is the error? You can see what is the error, you can see. So this is the L, right? And what is the error you're getting? Add cast to long. Type mismatch, cannot convert from float to long. So this is the floating value, this is the integer value. But you are mixing, if you this output, you will get a float only. But integer and float, if you multiply, you will get a floating value, right? Floating value you will get 100 multiplied by 3.5, you will get a floating value. And you won't get integer. But I declared here integer data type, that is long. That's why it is asking typecast it. So typecast it. I'm converting into long. I don't want a floating value, I'm converting into long. So the right side value and left side value should be same. Data type should be same. So I converted. That's a typecasting, we call this. We're going to explain typecasting later. So multiplication value. You can ask one more doubt. Why you are using a static variable in the non-static method? So static variable you can use anywhere. So remember this point again. Static variable and static methods you can use in static methods, non-static methods also. Why? It is a common to all. That's why static keyword is there. It's a common.
Float. Will it not help?
Ramesh,
Yeah.
here you wrote long. Why can't you write float 27?
You can do that. You can do that. Then you don't need this typecasting. Okay. You can do that also. Okay.
Thank
If you want, I want long, I just put it long. Otherwise, you can put a float data type. This is also correct. It's up to you how you want to code. That's what I'm saying. Different ways you can code it. Okay. Anything is fine. Yeah. So this output, what type of data you're getting, that data type you need to declare left side. Remember that point. If mismatch is there, you will get a type mismatch error. I told you, right? In the Java features I explained, it will check, type checking mechanism is there in Java. Right side, what type of data is there? What is the data type you declared on the left side? If not matching, you will get a type mismatch error. Remember this point. I'll come back to this type mismatch problems again in the, so one more topic we have, typecasting topic. Okay, what methods I can call under main method? Only main method. Static methods I can call. So just call this. I'm calling my static method, calling or invoking static method inside main method. How to call? Just call the static method name. I'm giving syntax here also one more time. Static method name, then semicolon. Is it following that or not? Let me pull down. Static method name. What is the static method name? M1 is my static method name. So only method name I am calling to execute that M1 method. Then I am calling here. If I am not executing, I don't need to call here. If you are not executing, so you don't need, this is the calling the methods for execution under main method. So this is the definition of the method. You are defining the M1 like this. This is a definition of the method. And this is the calling. Okay, just execute this. If something is there in the main method, then only you can execute. Otherwise, you cannot execute. So M1 method will execute now. So this M1 method is executed. Okay, that's the how to execute this protected. See, only protected variables, protected constructor, protected methods you can create, but not protected class. So can I use in another package these things? Without inheritance, it is not possible. In the same class package, in another class you can use. Same package, another class. For example, I want to use this protected variable. Say I want to use here, right? I want to use here. So I can call here. I can call here. How can I call that? Other class members if you want to call. Other class static members if you want to call. Calling other class static members in another class. So you have to follow this syntax. Class name dot the static member. This is the syntax. So which class member you want to call? This class member. So protected demo class member I want to call. So that class name dot the static members, it will show automatically for you here. So when you put that, see that all the static members it will show you. See, how do you know this is static member? And the yes, it is showing yes on top of that. F, yes, M1, yes. So main method also static method. That's what it is showing. So I want to call F, my variable I want to call. So variable I just you're getting a value from that class. This is how you can call. I'm printing. So other class static members I'm calling here. Protected demo class static variable F value. So did you declare F here? We didn't declare in this class, right? But we are calling from other class. How is it possible? Because that has a protected means you can use in the same package any class. Outside package also possible if you apply inheritance. If not applying, it is not possible. See, now I am able to access. Even the method also I can call. So calling the other class static method. So how to call? The syntax. Again, class name dot, all these formulas very important. Static method. So what is the class name? Protected demo. Follow these formulas. Dot, the method name is showing already in the, if you put a dot, you can access that class members. Now M1 is the protected demo class member. See that class name also showing here in the panel. So select that. So it will call that. So you didn't create here. See, did you declare here S variable, F variable? F variable we didn't declare. Do we have M1 method here? No, I'm calling from other class. Other class members I'm calling static members here. So other class static members, how can you call? Class name dot static members. But can I call this protected variables and these things? See that when we call or not, let me show you that also. it won't allow you. So I told you that the statement protected variables, protected methods, and cannot be visible outside the class. Calling private variables, private static variables. Anything private is not visible. So you just put that class dot. Is it visible any variable? It's not showing anything. Why? Because of private is stopping. Private doesn't allow to show these variables in another class. That's why nothing is visible here. So that's a private. I'm showing you practically. Private is there. It is not visible in another class of same package. Forget about other package. Same package you cannot access. Okay, is it clear? And protected is you're able to access. Even default also you can access. See that default also you can access. So let me show you default demo, right? So default demo class dot, see the members it is showing. String variable and the method test method. Anyone you want you can call. So string variable I'll call here. I'm writing. So which class variable it is? You just write some definition, some description. Default demo class str static variable value. That's what I'm joining. You're directly getting the value from there. So then see, because this bracket is started but we didn't end, I'm ending now here. Semicolon. So this is the default demo static variable you are calling. Even static method also you can call. This you can default, you can access in the same package in any class. Other class also you are able to access. So that's the that. See that default demo class, protected demo class, all you are calling. So that's the default you can access in the same package any class. Even protected also you can access in the same package any class. And another thing is private you cannot access in another class. Private access modifier members you cannot access in another class. Theory is a very important, then easily you can understand, right? That's all about access modifiers. Any questions? No
Ramesh,
questions?
we cannot access the non-static methods, right?
You can access, but only thing you have to check which access modifier keyword is there. Same way, but the way you call them is without this is not the right way to call class name dot non-static variable. You cannot call. That's not the process. There is a different process for that. You can call if that has a permission. Which permission? Public, default, protected is there. You can call even another classes of same package. And if public is there, another packages also you can call. But that process is different. You have to create object for the class. Then with object reference, you have to call them. So now here for calling the static members, you are using class, right? For a non-static, you have to create object for the class. That's the difference. Okay, that I'll explain you. So I don't want to confuse more here. They just we are understanding the keywords, the access modifier keywords, and the structure of a class we are understanding. That's the main intention here. So we have a very deep explanation on the each and every method and every variable. So next session it will come. Okay, let's move on. What is a class? A class is a template or a blueprint. It contains many members. What are the members you can write inside the class? Methods we have written, variables I have shown you, constructors I have shown you, blocks I didn't show you, but I'll show you the blocks also. So this is the class structure. Yesterday I explained, today also one more time theoretically I'm showing. So theoretically, why you see that? So you have already this. See that? A class. This is the class. A class below you have a private or the variables, constructors, methods you have. These are all methods. See that how many methods we have written. You can write n number of methods in the class, but each method is independent. It should not be a duplicate. If you write a duplicate, it will throw error for you. See that if you give m1 here, so it's a complaints. Duplicate method m1. So that's why you should not duplicate. Okay. So method name should be unique. So that's the class. So class is a logical entity. You are writing the logic inside the class. So the methods inside, you are writing the logic, and data you are storing in the variables, and that's a class. The class syntax is access modifier, class, class name, curly braces. You can define inside the class variables, methods, constructors, blocks, then close the class. So all these members you can declare inside the class only, not outside the class. Outside the class only you have package and import statements. That's it. But other members inside the class only you can define, you can declare. So then public class sample. See, the first letter is in capital letter. If one word is there, the first letter in capital and remaining letters you write in lowercase. Curly braces start, curly braces. Again, the members, any one or all the members you can write. It's up to you. So default class, see that default access modifier. No modifier keyword. So directly you're starting with a class keyword, then test. Test means one letter, first letter in capital letter. The class name always you need to follow naming convention. Either class or method or variable interface, anything you are defining, you must follow the naming conventions. That's how you can differentiate class and method. How you can differentiate? Class starts with a capital letter and method starts with a lowercase, and method name after parenthesis will be there, but class after parenthesis won't be there. This difference is very, very important. Okay. Then class keyword tells you it is a Java class. This class keyword is there, right? This class keyword. What is meant by this class keyword? This class keyword tells you it is a Java class. Then a class name, it is defined by us. It's a noun. You will just use a noun in English, right? Grammatical way. So basically you'll declare a names for the class. And naming conventions of Java class is, if a class name contains one word, first letter should be in uppercase and remaining letters in lowercase. That's what we are following here. See that first letter is in uppercase and remaining letters are in lowercase. If you remember this rule, and you can easily apply all the places you apply this rule. And if you don't know this point, and you will make mistakes while creating a class, while using the class. See that even I used it here, right? The class. I used other classes, but I followed the naming conventions. See that? Protected P capital, demo D capital, every word first letter in uppercase. Same naming conventions everywhere common. It doesn't change from class to class. So that's why naming conventions is a global. For everywhere, if you're creating a class, you're calling the class, you have to follow these naming conventions. Okay, second rule. If a class name contains more than one word, every word first letter should be in uppercase and remaining letters are in lowercase, and should not provide any spaces between words. So we didn't provide any spaces here, right? Protected one word, demo is another word. So each word first letter is in uppercase. See that? Protected P capital, demo D capital. Even default demo also. Default D capital, demo D capital. So like this, even private also. Private P capital, demo D capital. Two words, each word first letter is in uppercase and remaining letters are in lowercase here. And that's this. See that here I'm creating a class. Selenium WebDriver. Three words are there. Selenium S capital, Web W capital, Driver D capital. The three words, every word first letter is in uppercase. Remaining letters are in lowercase. And rule 3, the class name is followed by curly braces. After class name should start with a curly braces. If you are creating a class, curly braces, it tells that it is a class beginning and should end with a curly brace. Make sure the class is ending with a curly braces. It should start with the curly braces and it should end with a curly brace. So that's a pair of brackets. That's all about these access modifiers and class structure and class naming convention.